All right. Super morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me as I talk about the entrepreneur lifestyle. I'm going to grab my coffee real quick and we are going to get started. I want to know any questions you may have. My name is Catherine Jones, Coach Cat for my students. Um, Last week was the first one I did of these, and I really had a good time. The young lady that was on with me and my husband last week. Oh, look at my hair. I'm gonna talk about my hair too. I have to. So give me a couple seconds because I'm actually gonna bring the product back. Where is that? Me and this hair of mine. I wanted y'all to see all these curls. I just washed my hair. Good morning, husband. So I just washed my hair and it's not done, so it's still wet. And I guess I actually could go out like this though, because look at that. Those curls are popping. I'm using the product shampoo and conditioner. I have not put on the hair dress for it yet, and I have not used the oil for my scalp this week. But Hair 180 is who's helping me with my hair. All right. Okay. All right, I'm back. So, yes, my hair is called Wild Thing. So, what I am going to do, because it is still wet, I'm going to pull it up. But I wanted you all to see my curls. Let's see if I can back up a little bit here. I wanted you all to see my curls, and this is all natural. And one day, maybe we'll talk about the natural hair journey because it's different for every person. If you've been getting relaxers in your hair your entire life, and I mean since 7 or 8 years old, then you understand. All right, you understand the challenge of transitioning. Even if you go from a long hairstyle to a short hairstyle, or either way, you waiting for your hair to grow out, or you waiting. Um, Actually, let me see. When I cut my hair once, I had to wait for my hair to grow back in the back because I had it shaved in the back. So that part was a hard transition because your short haircut looks good, and Halle Berry and Anita Baker back in the day was the hairstyles to get if you're going to get your hair cut down. And if you shaved it on the side, you had, more to grow in, but on the your top hair could cover the back, but you had to wait for that growth. So another hair transition is this natural hair thing. All right. Well, I got my coffee, and I will, honey, if you would grab the shampoo and conditioner off of the out of the bathroom for me, I can share that with everyone. And this is not a sponsor of mine. This is a product that I'm using. The lady is from Charlotte. Her and her husband have the company hair180.net. So you should be able to, let me make sure I got the right website for you too. Because it's hair180.net. And you can order online. You'll see that through the website. And you can go to Tyson. I've seen her product in there and purchased it in there. So if you're looking for um, a new product for your hair, it could be you're looking for something healthier. They have it. If you're looking for something by a Black owned business, they have it. If you're looking for something um, that is the ingredients you can read off the label, they have that too. Thank you, honey. So I got these bottles. Let's see if I can hold it up for you. That's the leave-in detangler. And then this is the shampoo. Let's see if I can turn that around for you. Uh-oh, be still, Catherine. There we go. Turn that way. And you can, I'm gonna figure out this camera one day. All of the things are there. Yeah, you're figuring it out with me. It's not that easy.
It's always the opposite.
It is. All right, stop right there. Okay. Thank you, honey. So that's the shampoo and the conditioner that I put on my hair. And I've always thought I had, good hair. They call it good hair. Leave that, please. They call it good hair, but anyway, manageable hair is good hair. So I am shower fresh today. It was bath day. That's something you have to do as an entrepreneur, right? Last week we began talking about how to reinvent yourself. The lady that was on last week left a corporate career, which many people I know they do that. You do your whole career with someone else, and then at the end of it, you're looking to do something else, and so you start your own business. And so she started her own business, and she designs book covers. And so she is on Instagram, and I will pull that up for you too. If you're writing a book and you need a beautiful book cover, she makes them. All right, let's pull up Instagram. I'll get that to you. I won't forget. But today we're going to continue talking about reinventing yourself. I want to share with you all some things that may seem like it's not important, but breathing. I've barely took a breath since I started talking this morning because I rushed in and I didn't get situated and I still had to make my coffee and it happens that way. Sometimes you are rushing, but you have an opportunity to slow down and grab your center. And it doesn't matter what you call your higher power, God, universe, omnipresent, all knowing, Mother Nature, and there are many other names. God has 100 names alone. So your spiritual practice is very important to you reinventing yourself because it helps you shift how you used to think. Let's look at it. You were going to a job set by someone else's rules. You may have had some input, and I did bring that up last week that you are the CEO of yourself. So you do have opportunities to speak up, but you're not in full control. But you work on someone's job. You may have been in management. They may have taken into advisement a lot of what you had to say, but you weren't in full control. Maybe now I'll be IBM. I listened to a case study on IBM some years ago. Well, I listened to the case study recently, but it was done from some years ago. They allowed some of their employees to be entrepreneurs within the company. So you may have had a lot more say than other people because maybe your company allowed you to have some creative freedom. I know the 3M company, the sticky pad company, they allow creative time on the clock. So you get paid to be creative to come up with new ideas for the company. So unless you've had a company like that, then being an entrepreneur is going to be pretty different from the 9 to 5 or the set schedule. As an entrepreneur, you do have a set working schedule, but then there's other hours that you need to work. And I was sitting in on a session last night for meditation and to set your intentions. And someone said they only want to work 4 hours, I mean, 4 days a week. But what was left out was which time was going to be money making work and which time was going to be the other work that's needed to lead up to the money making work. And that person had not managed that. They did their 4 days of working to make money, but they added 3 more days on the week to get things done that led to the money making days. So we don't know a lot of times what we're asking for because that was an eye opener for me. When I hear people say a 4 day work week, I do automatically think about a day for personal development or professional development. So maybe you do work Monday through Thursday, and then Friday is your personal development day. Maybe Saturday and Sunday could be your retreat day because you have to plan your whole life. You're not planning just part of it. When you were an entrepreneur, someone planned part of it and you stepped into it. It's like a friend with a good idea for something and they do all the planning, you just show up. Well, that's not what entrepreneur is like. You're the friend with all the ideas. Some ideas work, some ideas do not work. You guys see I'm dripping. Oh, get me a handkerchief for church. So when you're reinventing yourself, you have to think about What am I trying to accomplish? And if you want to accomplish anything, you have to be breathing. Have you ever just held onto your breath because you're not sure what's going to happen next? Have you ever held onto your breath and had this thick heaviness in your chest? That's because you're not breathing. You're not taking in air. When we breathe in and out, we are filtering our system. We have our own built in filtration system. And most of us don't use it, and we don't use it properly. Of course, we breathe for survival. I breathe because I realized I hadn't taken a real breath in a while. Maybe I breathe shallow a lot, but your heart begins to race when you do that and you hadn't done anything. And you're not nervous about anything per se, but your heart is racing because the oxygen isn't moving the blood. And I'm going to tell you, the past 3 or 4 months, it has not occurred to me how important just being set in place to go is. I mean, you show up for work on time. You may even show up for work on time and prepared, to work. But have you ever gotten up in the morning and you said, "Oh man, my age is my body is telling my age," but you might be 20 or 30 years old. It just really means that you're no longer in school and you don't have a designated physical education time. And so your body is a little harder to get tuned up and to get going. So getting up, how you get up in the morning is how you set your day. And that does sound cliche-ish. Like you can decide to have a good morning or a good day if you want to. It is that simple, but it's not that simple. You can decide it, that's easy, but then you have to actually demonstrate it. That part is the hard part because the exercises that I'll show you some of today last maybe 2 minutes. The longest exercise I've done with one of these is 12 minutes. And honestly, you're not doing anything. And that's the thing that bothers us, I believe, not doing anything. You're going to sit for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 12 minutes, and only focus on looking at an item or feeling an item or just hearing sounds. It may seem real silly, but it's not because it causes you to pause. It causes you to appreciate a moment. It causes you to recognize I may not always breathe the way I should breathe, but what I do know is that I can reset at any time. You're going into a difficult conversation. You're going into a boring meeting. You're going to someone's house and you just really don't want to, but you have to. You're going to be around some people in a group that you really don't want to be around, but you have to. You want to open yourself up because right now, when we're feeling tense and we're holding our breath, we only have our idea in mind. We only have our thought in mind. We're not thinking of anyone else. We just know this is going to be a really hard conversation for me. This is going to be a very uncomfortable experience for me. This is going to be a very boring meeting for me. You know what it's going to be for you. So what helped me to make a shift was to say, I've done this before. I've already done the boring meeting. I've already done the hard conversation. I've I've already done it that way. I'm going to still have hard conversations, but they don't have to make me hold my breath. And what I have found is when I've taken some time to make sure that I'm breathing properly, maybe I've shaken off whatever I needed to shake off, anything, anything to get me to reset. Yes, ask for a few minutes, but don't ask for a few minutes before you get into that conversation just to ferment your thought. Go into that moment to set yourself and say, you know what, I already know what I think and feel about this moment. What would it be like if I was open to what the other person or people think and feel in this moment as much as they will share? And we know that we have the ability to make other people uncomfortable. So even if you don't know how to fix your face, as my parents would tell me as a kid, maybe you could say to the person, I know we're having a tough conversation or we're having a difficult discussion. And I do not want you to go by past experience of me making this difficult. I don't want to make this moment difficult, but something to let them off the hook. Know it's safe to share, Safe in the sense that what we do here won't leave this space, but we're going to have this conversation. We need to have this conversation. It helps to see things a different way. And even if you're open to that person's way of seeing things, you go back later and think about your way and think about their way. And you may even see a few more options and be open to calling that person later to say, hey, guess what else I came up with in the, after we talked. And it has worked for me. It has worked for people that I've shared this with. So the first thing I'm going to share with you is called the PQ app. And well, it's repetitions. It's on an app on my phone. I do the exercise from it, so it's always with me. So I said the PQ app. Good morning, Stacy. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions during this live, I'm talking about anything business, anything for entrepreneurs. So even if the topic isn't what you're here for today, ask the question so that I can definitely give some attention to you. I feel like your time is just like money. Spend it wisely. Get the most bang for your buck. So with the Positive Intelligence app, they give you exercises that they call tactile. And so you're rubbing your fingers together or rubbing just to feel your hand. And you can do that now. You don't have to, wait for me to give you instruction. It feels good. It just feels good. And after a while, you just want to feel the back of your hand, or you want to massage your ears. All of those things we've heard in self-care that work, and we save it for a special moment, like a Friday night after we've been stressed all week. Positive intelligence is an everyday exercise. It's something that you do for yourself every day. 15 minutes the entire day, but in the morning when you wake up, you start waking up slowly. You could do tactile, you could do visual. Like I say a map. I have a picture of a road behind me, and there's actually two parts to it. And when I bought those pieces, I could visualize myself traveling up that road. I don't know where we're going. Doesn't look like there are any, signs or mile markers. So I guess, we're just going to be on an adventure. So I like that picture. So that's good for visualization. You could have anything. Maybe you look outside in nature. The other exercise that we do with positive intelligence is listening. So I'm going to be quiet right now. My house is very noisy. You can't hear it, but I can. I can hear my refrigerator. I can hear the neighbor outside taking their dog out for a walk. What can I hear? I can hear the heat kick on. I hear buzzing, rambling. So if you just listen, that's a PQ app. Do that for a minute because you start noticing, I didn't know this house was that noisy. That's how I figured it out. After a while, everything gets real quiet and it's like super quiet, and even that quiet has a noise. But you find something to focus on that has nothing to do with you, nothing to do with the issue you're going to face. Even if you're super excited about something, calm yourself down. You don't want to be over the top, and you don't want to be, meh. You want to find your spot. Sometimes we want to be over the top, and that feels good, especially when you're happy. So positive intelligence is about retraining your brain. Try things that you've already done, but do it a different way. We already know what it sounds like or looks like when we go off on someone to give them a piece of our mind, when we cuss them out. But what does it look like when we sit still and listen? Even if they say exactly what we know they're going to say, what would it be like if you just listened and then didn't say anything? Thank you. Just tell them thank you for sharing your thoughts. As an entrepreneur, you don't have an HR department unless you created one, but you don't have an HR department to complain to when someone mistreats you, when a customer isn't um, paying their bill. You don't have anyone to run interference for you. So you have to think about those conversations. How I personally feel about talking about money will spill over into my business. If I don't like talking about money, like naming prices or telling how much something is, or maybe I have a feeling that I'm not worthy or I can't afford something, then I'm going to think other people think that way too. What happens is it is scary because it's unusual. You know the comfort of someone already rejecting you. That doesn't sound comfortable, but we're used to it. The uncomfortable thing is getting you in the headspace of, I have bills to pay. I am doing what I absolutely love, But now I have to be a salesperson. I have to ask for the sale. I have to build relationships and nurture them and know that this person may not buy from me this year. I want them to. I got bills to pay, but they may not buy this year. So when I get frustrated, because like one of the things now is I want more coaching clients. I'm in a space where I can take on more coaching clients and I want them to come all at once so I could just get started. But that's not how that works. You have to put yourself out there, get to know people, let them get to know you, let them sample your style and let them sample your style. And you won't always be for everyone. You could be a Walmart shopper or a Target shopper or Target. Don't let me mess that up for the people who shop at Target. So you have your preference. And while you say, well, I need to learn these things. And in school, you were not allowed to choose your teachers. You got the teacher that taught that subject. Well, coaching isn't the same way. One, I love to teach, but I'm not a teacher. I'm a map holder. You're on a journey. You know what you want to do. I hold the map and I say, okay, I'm gonna use Stacy's name since she's visiting with us today. Okay, Stacy, where do you want to go? She wants to go from south to north, no interference. My job is to make sure the map provides us a destination south to north, no interference. Now, along the way, Stacy's going to want to get off. She's going to want to stop, get off, quit. I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm going to say, but that's not on the map. So we can only do what's on your map. So we have to think about this a different way. So I'm here to kind of keep you on track for what you say you want to do. In the middle of you reinventing yourself, the way your mother taught you, your father taught you, your grandma taught you, the first boss you ever had, all of the things that you learned throughout life will begin to shift a little. We won't throw the lesson completely out because it does serve a purpose, but there are some other ways. Our parents gave us advice for us to survive. They gave us advice for us to make it from adolescence to adulthood. The rest is up to us. We have to figure it out. I would like to blame my parents for all the things they didn't teach me, but I wasn't ready to learn all of those things. And maybe they mentioned them and I wasn't paying attention. But now that I work for myself, I have to listen very carefully and be aware of any changes or any shifts because I'm now the boss. I'm in control. The person at the top may seem like they're doing little, but they're looking and keeping a watch out. They want to see if there's any shifts in trends. They want to see if there's any obstacles that will come up, any opportunities that will come up. Can we take that opportunity? Do we have room for that? We can't say yes to everything, even if we see everyone is doing something new. And we say everyone, we see two or three people and it becomes everyone. You have to stay your course because everyone isn't doing what you're doing. Reinventing yourself from being an employee to an employer or possible employer, because every entrepreneur doesn't hire people, but most people do work with an employee or a contractor, independent contractor, or even interns. So you have people that you need to care about in your business because when you don't care about them, they won't care about your business and you'll be there doing it alone. How do you find people? The first people I found were family members. My family, they're not that interested in media, but they wanted to help and they did that for a little bit. So I had to quickly find people who were more interested in what I was doing to help me along the way. So you can do a couple of PQ reps, and what they tell you to do is rub it until you feel your fingerprint, your ridges of your fingers, they say. But you just rub it, rub it, rub it, rub it. Um, the other exercise that I've been doing has been breathing. Sounds simple, right? But it's not. You wait until you inhale deeply and you haven't done that in a while. It'll make you cough a little bit. It may make your throat dry. Oh, and drinking water, not just any water, because we have the bottled water that we get, the big case of bottled water that we get, and I usually use it for cooking. But if I run out of my main water, my core water that helps raise your pH balance back to its 7.4, and it's not science, it's you feel different. I'm not that scientific, but somebody may be, and so I shared that. But core water, it feels like it's opening up. It's just opening me up all over. And I feel like I'm putting water in dry places. Now, don't get me wrong, the water that I now cook with used to be my go to water. I needed to get in the habit of drinking water. And when you know better, you drink better. So now that I've tried core water, and I've tried some of the other life waters too, but I like core water. Make sure you're lubricated because it helps you when you do your yoga. And you do need to do yoga, which is the slow stretching part of aerobics. It opens your body up, opening up your mind by saying, I'm going to listen to what others have to say. I already know what I think. That's one exercise. But your mind can be blocked, believe it or not, if you haven't stretched. If you rushed into your day and you're thinking, man, I just can't hang on to a thought today. I can't complete anything today. It's because something's blocked. If you are into chakras, spiritual chakras, that's something else too. The exercise I did last night was setting intentions. We went through three of the chakras. We went through the sacral, which is at our base, and then the solar plexus is your stomach, and then your heart chakra is in the middle of your chest. So we spoke through those three levels, but we didn't go through all seven. She said that you could if you wanted to, but I want to be more open. And you put your hand in the space so that your mind is thinking of, yes, we're talking to our creative part, we're talking to our love part, we're talking to our get it done part, you know. I want to make this a smooth transition. I want to be open to what other people say. It seems like, ah, man, I can get to that later, but you can't rush a meditation. You can't rush setting intentions, and you can't rush breathing. I was reading something that says that we breathe so many liters of air per day, or we should be. And it's a lot more. No, actually, it was gallons. I'll find a statistic. But we breathe or need to breathe for effective thinking and not feeling like your bones are cracking and not feeling stiff and not being anxious and quickly to be angered by people when you haven't cleared yourself. So you don't want to rush through that. If you, I'm not a morning person. I'm not. But whatever time you like getting up, give yourself a little more time. Like if I want to get up at 10 in the morning, then I need to get up at 9:30 or 9 if I'm going to do my meditation. That whole exercise takes 20 minutes. And I in my head, I'm like, I want to find 20 minutes. What's the best time for 20 minutes? And in my head, I think I'm thinking of something productive. I'm not. Get up and do it. Sit on the side of your bed, sit up in your bed. You don't even have to be on the floor. Just your first one, you inhale through your nose and out your mouth. But after that, you're going to do 10 inhales and exhales through your nose. And we can do that now. This is one of the exercises. You don't do this one step for 20 minutes, but you just close your eyes and I'm going to inhale and exhale. And you can do it again. And I promise you, the first couple times, you won't go through the whole 10 because you'll start feeling relief, just like with any other medicine. When you start feeling relief, you stop taking the medicine. You'll save it to the next time you don't feel good, right? But the better you feel, the more you're going to want to do. And so the art of living is doing a free class tomorrow night. And I'm going to share that link here in the chat so that you can participate in it. It's free. It's not an affiliate program of mine. It's something I participated in and am still participating in. And it helps me. Even when I have a really crummy bad day, I'm able to express myself and all is not lost. It's not that conversation I used to have where it's all or nothing. I'm pretty close. I'm pretty close to still saying all or nothing, but within reason. Because it's like, Catherine, you already have that idea. You had that idea when you came in. Give us a new idea. Try some new things. And sometimes we let ourselves not do things. But once you start feeling better, it's like you want to keep feeling that. So the breathing exercises, and sometimes I have cheated myself. So don't let me project that I'm doing this perfectly. I'm not. I know the difference when I've done my breathing and when I have not done my breathing. My husband knows the difference between when I've done my breathing and when I haven't done my breathing. I like to come across to people in a pleasant enough way that they know that I'm kind, not a pushover, but I'm also knowledgeable and I'm here to help. So I don't want to beat you over the head. You're not doing it right. I want to have a more compassionate approach because I have my idea on how you should follow your map, but it's your map. So my job is to guide you on your trip. If we stop to refill, if we stop to revisit something, that's different. But sometimes we pick a whole new trip and wonder why our business isn't where we want it to be. Well, boss, no one's there to tell you get back on the clock, get back to work like they did at a 9 to 5. So you have to be able to remember you're in control and you get to have fun and you have all this stuff to create and you need to take time off for yourself. Reinventing yourself as an entrepreneur is rethinking your work schedule. If you work 3 or 4 days a week already, then you already know how to do a 4-day work week. What were you doing with the other days off? But the average person who's worked a job, they have either 5 to 7 days a week they work. They're always at work. They're scrambling for time. They're wanting time to themselves and time off. And they go to work. They come home. Their family's there with demands and no time left for themselves. Well, if you're still on a job, and I haven't even drank my coffee at all. Hold on. Excuse me. If you're still on a job, one thing that I've done on a couple of occasions, on a couple of different jobs, is to negotiate a different schedule. One job I didn't have to negotiate, actually. They gave us 3.5 hours. You could start at 6 a.m., as early as 6 a.m., and as late as 9:30 a.m. And since I'm not a morning person, 9:30 works for me. But that also meant I'm at work until 6, which was fine for me. But if you went in at 6, you could get off as early as 2:30. And some people really like that schedule too. So that felt like you had some control over your schedule. Now, if I came in at 6 and got off at 2, what am I doing with my time? Because by 2 o'clock, your kids probably are not home unless, well, we're in COVID now. So maybe you should network with someone so that y'all could watch each other's kids so that you can get off early in the day, go home and maybe watch your favorite show and eat a snack that you don't want to share with the kids or your spouse. Go home and take a shower where no one's knocking on the door needing anything from you, but slowly work yourself into me time, getting somewhere and being quiet. Some people sit in their car at the park and just watch people go by. I like watching traffic. So I'll be in a parking lot and I'm just watching traffic go by. And that relaxes me because I don't know where those people are coming and going from. And I also like going to the airport. I don't know where those people are going to or where they're arriving from, but I just want to watch them, and it takes me away from being stuck in a loop on a good thought or a bad thought or a non-productive space. I'm gonna stop for a second. Stacy, again, thank you so much for being here. CJ, honey, thank you for helping me, making sure I sound okay on that end. Are there any questions? And I'm gonna look for this Art of Living link. And if you want to create a book, there's a lady who was on last week who does book covers. I can find the Art of Living faster. Let me find that. So post any questions you have in the chat. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel here so that next week you'll see when we go live and we'll talk more about the entrepreneur lifestyle. And it's not just about learning something in the business specifically. It is about staying in business, the mindset it takes to be in business. Just because we want to be our own boss does not mean that we should be our own boss. Thursday night. Okay, I thought yes, they did. They did. Here it is. Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a free 1-hour session. And during this session, they're going to give you a free full exercise. Uh-oh, I guess I have a limit on it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I love looking at the water too. Stacy, if you ever try Earth Cams on Facebook, they have cameras set up all over the globe. People, if you have a camera set up at your home or work location with a beautiful view, you can put your camera on Earth Cam so other people can look through it. So Earth Cam is a good site to just go take a quick vacation. I think I watched someone get married at a Las Vegas wedding chapel last week, and then I got to see some of the canyons in Nevada as well. So that was good. Um, and the book cover lady. So we like looking at water. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up in just a couple of minutes here. So, Stacy, do you have any questions that you want to ask? Mm-mm-mm. Oh, no. Okay. I'm not doing a good job finding this. I'm going to have to post that later. So, for today, the mindset, you're welcome. For today, I want you to think about how you approach your day, how you approach a meeting, how you approach a difficult conversation, how you approach your creative process. And if you are approaching it the same way you always approached it, and it makes you feel like, man, I don't like how this went, because sometimes people take you the wrong way. You mean well, but it's timing. I've had times when I've said the right thing, but I said it too fast, or I said the right thing, or I said it too harsh. I said the right thing, but again, timing, that person wasn't ready or open to hear it. So I've learned over the years to ask a person, are you open to hearing a new idea? And it does seem childish and elementary sounding, but when I get back to the basics, get back to elementary, I tend to have a better experience, and so does the other person. And it has helped to nurture relationships that could be misunderstood because I'm too relaxed in how I respond, too thoughtless in how I come across to people. As an entrepreneur, you want everyone to be willing to get along with you, because it's hard out here if you don't get along with people. Even if you don't like them, that doesn't mean you have to fall out with them. You can still do business with people that you don't personally hang out with. I don't like them personally, but they're good in this business. And you don't have to tell people you don't deal with them personally. That's an inside thing. You don't even have to tell that person. You just know never to accept a dinner invitation, or decide to be open to it, and maybe you'll learn something about this person that you didn't know. Be open to other people's ideas. We've already done it our way. We already know how to take a long time doing something, and we already know how to be productively non-productive. And we already know how to make excuses and let ourselves get away with things. We know how to do that. We may even know how to stick to a task and not give ourselves a break. I'm going to do this task and I'm going to stick to this task until it's complete, because that's the way I am. I'm not going to fail on a job. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. When do you take time off? When do you clock out? When do you do something totally mindless? When does your mind, which is a muscle, your brain, when does it get a break? When does it get a workout? When do you give your mind care? So the positive intelligence, I think I can show that with you too, because they have a class coming up in April or May. But you want to get on their waiting list. It's April 12th. Oh, oh. Okay, looks like it's open. It doesn't look like there's a waiting list. So I'm going to give this to you as well. Everything I'm sharing, I've used. I'm not an affiliate per se of the product. If you take the positive intelligence, this program is going to amaze you, because they give you 6 full weeks of the actual program. If you keep the program, you'll see they gave me for free the same thing I'm paying for now. Yes, but you get 6 weeks free, full program, new exercises, new mental retrain your brain exercises. At the end of the 6 weeks, you will decide if you want to continue or if you want to just use their basic program, because they let you use the app for a year for free. real stuff, real useful stuff. Art of Living is going to give you 1 hour for free on tomorrow night. And if you can't make tomorrow night, they have others. So go to that site and you'll find another date that may work for you better. Free, free, free. Take care of yourself. If you've been looking for self care, things that you can do that don't cost you money, you may not have time right now to travel. These things you can do at home, in home, on your app. Okay. I want to say, Stacy, thank you again for being here. Next week, we'll be here again at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you missed the beginning, once this stops, go back to the beginning. I shared some hair products because I washed my hair today. And wow, thing, look at her. Ha ha ha. Oh, my hair smells so good too. Y'all can't smell it. But this is wash day hair, and wow, thing is looking amazing. I do need to do a little bit more than rub it down, but this is my hair after wash day. Okay, so I put it up because it was still wet when I got started. Hair180.net is a Charlotte lady and her husband who own the company and make the product. It does. Stacy, I wish I would have done a before and after because it had a meh. My hair looked kind of lopsided. So I've started using her product. This is the third time I've washed my hair with it. I use her scalp treatment um, once every 2 weeks. And my husband has noticed that my hair just seems thicker. And I was concerned about my hair thinning out. And so I tried her products and not really putting a lot of thought into it, but just doing it, making sure I had a clean scalp and just see what happens. And it has gotten, and it feels good. It feels good. I don't feel like my hair is leaving me anymore. So she may be helping. Yes, please check her out. The natural journey is something interesting for every one of us. It's not the same for every person. And I hope that you enjoy the products when you try them out. It's hair180.net. There we are. All right, you guys, lady and gentlemen. Until next week, have a super day. Thank you for being here.